Hey, what's up guys? Got a knife review. What do you know? Yeah, I still do knife reviews. I love knives. Always will. Use them all the time. I'll always be doing knife reviews until the end of YouTube. So anyway, today I'm talking about the Kershaw Skyline. Heavily requested. I've been avoiding this review because there's just everyone and their brother has a review on this knife. It's like the Tenacious. There's really nothing I can add that you don't already know about it. But just for your own enjoyment, entertainment, and for one specific person who's been bugging me to do this review for like 2 months, once a week, they're like, hey, you gonna do a Skyline review? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. A lot of people do it. We'll see. Next week I'll get a message. Hey man, what about that Skyline? You gonna do a review? And I'm like, didn't you ask me that last week? He goes, yeah, you gonna do it? You gonna do it? What do you think? You gonna do it? So for that one persistent person, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. Now you gotta bear with me. I have a little bit of a head cold, kind of congested, maybe some sniffling, maybe I sound funny. Some people may argue the fact that I always sound funny. So for those people, all I can say is, that's rude. But anyway. All right, Kershaw Skyline. There's nothing I'm gonna tell you that you don't already know about this knife. It's a fantastic knife, and if you don't have any more time to watch this video, go get one, because that's what it sums up to be. I mean, that's what it is. It's a great knife, it's affordable. 20 to 30 bucks, more on the $30 range. Couple dollars cheaper than a Tenacious, but I'm going to kind of compare it directly to a Spyderco Tenacious just because they're both very, very popular and they're around the same price. So let's get into the review. We're looking at a G10 folding knife here. It's a liner lock. It's got a little flipper on the back. Very smooth. Opens up every single time with that flip. It's got an oversized flipper on it, so there's really no way you're going to miss that thing. Some knives, the flippers kind of protrude out just a little bit. Doesn't give you enough momentum. This thing's huge. You can't miss the thing. So it flips out every time for you. Like I said, it is a liner lock. Good lockup on this. No blade play in any direction. Have used this very heavily. Okay, and you will notice that it's dirty. But first, let's get into some specs on it. The blade is 3 1/8 inches long, or 7.9 centimeters. Yes, I'm giving some dimensions for the international viewers because there's a lot of them. A lot of you guys out there get pretty frustrated with us Americans giving our inches and whatnot. So there you go, 7.9 centimeters. What do you think of them apples? Closed, it's 4 1/4 inches or 10.8 centimeters. And overall, 7 3/8 inches or 18.7 centimeters. Okay, very light knife. Only got a liner on one side for the lock. Okay, 2.3 ounces. Really kind of gets lost in your pocket. You could forget you have it there. Like I said, it's got a G10 handle scale on it. The blade steel is a 14C28N. The only knife I have with this blade steel. I can't compare it to anything else except I can tell you it acts, takes an edge, holds an edge, and performs almost identical to a AUS 6. Okay, not the best, but guess what? It's not very expensive either. So it's all relevant. Yes, there's better knife steels out there. Yes, it's going to cost you more money. That's just how the cookie crumbles, right? So very nice blade steel, or excuse me, very nice blade shape. I like this. I'm a spear point kind of guy. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm pleased by most knife designs, but spear point's kind of a sexy looking knife. Nice geometry on this one. Came nice and sharp, and it won't stay sharp if you use it. That's just one of the drawbacks for some of the cheaper knives and the softer steels. I would recommend one of two things. If you get a knife like this, either, your first option is to use the knife until it's dull and buy a new one. Not a very good option. Your second option is to learn how to sharpen knives. That's probably something you might want to know if you really get into knives. I mean, there's no greater benefit to being a knife owner and user than knowing how to sharpen your knives and really getting them razor sharp. Most knives I can take out of the box brand new and get a sharper edge than the factory can put on it. And that's a very rewarding feeling, and I highly recommend taking the time and energy to learn how to sharpen your own knives. It's really not that hard. It's not magic. It's not incredibly difficult. You just have to invest a little bit of time in learning how to do it. But I would definitely recommend that. But like most people, if you don't use a knife that often, or if you don't have a specific crush on knives like some of us do, we got bitten by the steel bug, you don't have any interest. And a lot of times what happens is the average person, they'll get a knife like this, they go, oh, this is cool, and they flip it out and they play with it. Then they use it a little bit, then it gets dull. And what happens when it gets dull? It gets folded and sadly put in a drawer to rust because they no longer use it because it's not functional. And they'll buy another cheap knife. And they continuously do that throughout their whole life. And that is very sad. And there should be a very big graveyard of old, dull knives. But there's not. A lot of times they get thrown out, junked, whatever. That's sad. So please learn how to sharpen your knives. That would make me very happy. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about my opinions and stuff. Those are the facts. Well, here, let me give you some more facts. If I didn't already mention, it is a liner lock. Great lockup on this, no blade play. Have been using this a lot, not recently. I mean, I broke it out recently, that's why I'm doing the review, but when I first got it, used it for about 2 weeks or so, EDC'd it for a couple days, got a lot of heavy use in testing, even tried, whittling with it a little bit, and it's held up really nice. Good lockup on this. As I mentioned, it does have a flipper, it's a very big flipper, very fluent. Now you may also notice it has ambidextrous thumb studs, or does it? Yes, I think a lot of people oftentimes get confused and they'll see this as a thumb stud because that's what it looks like, and they may say, well, that's not so comfortable, or that's kind of small. You can use it like a thumb stud, but that's not its purpose. These are blade stops, okay? Basically, when the knife opens, they stop the blade from continuing momentum past and therefore loosening up the lock, okay? So you'll notice there's a little bit of a cutout on the handle, a little bit of a half circle there, so as the blade opens, it stops the blade right there, right in time for it to lock up. That's what gives you the nice lockup. And that's its real purpose. Although if you're really not a flipper fan, it's a cheap knife. You could modify it if you really wanted to. You can grind that off completely and then just use the blade stop as a thumb stud to manually open it. But most people will never do that. So I don't even know why I mentioned it. Anyway, texture on this, it's a very smooth G10. There's texturing on it, but it's so fine. It's not functional for grip. I mean, it's really not. It's pretty smooth. Take some Torx bits on the hardware, pivot screw, 2 body screws, very simple. Did take this apart 3 times to clean it because it got pretty gunked up. I use this as somewhat of a beater knife. And if you carry multiple knives on you, and you're one of these people who have the $150 knife in their pocket they like to show off with or use for delicate cutting tasks, and they also carry a secondary cheap knife for opening through tape and getting all that gunky glue crap on your blade and all that kind of stuff, all the funky stuff. This is a great second knife for you to carry. Small, lightweight, 2.3 ounces if I didn't already mention it. And that's basically due to the fact that it only has 1 liner for the liner lock side. All right, the other side is just the G10. It's got a half flow through design. Okay, a little spacer on the back, also G10. So lightweight, I mean, you can lose it in your pocket. Pocket clip on it is perfect. Perfect tension on this. I like just the simple wide clip on that. It's pretty cool. Something a little bit different. Always see designs like that. Kind of reminds me of a snowboard or a skateboard. Now I configured this back to its original position, which is a tip down. This is how you will get it out of the box, but I like to carry it tip up. I've only found one downside to carrying it tip up, and that is the fact that the flipper is exposed in the pocket. So if you have this in your right side, like I do, like most people do who are righties, as you reach into your pocket for your other stuff, this kind of rubs on the side of your hand, which is a little uncomfortable. But I do find the plus I get from it is that it will carry a little bit higher in the pocket. Okay, so I have a little bit more to grip onto when I pull it out of the pocket, as opposed to its original setup here, which I find for some reason just to be a little bit, less comfortable to remove it from the pocket. Very smooth, sharp out of the box. Like I said, again, you learn how to sharpen your knives. It shouldn't be a problem. Fantastic knife, very affordable, 20 or 30 bucks most places. On the back here, made in USA. A lot of people will really, really like that. What does that really mean? Well, if you looked into it, you'd probably find out that it's constructed and actually made somewhere else. But some companies, if you assemble it in the USA, you can technically say it's made in the USA. Does that really matter to you? Well, I can't answer that, but those are the facts. Put out by KAI. As you can see on top there, KAI does all of, they own Kershaw, they own Shun Knives. If you're into the kitchen knives, Shun is also under KAI, as well as the very popular brand. Come on. Do you know it? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Come on, guys. I know you know this. Kershaw, Shun, and they're popular. People like them. ZT. Yes, ZT knives are also put out by KAI. And I've had multiple people tell me how much they hate Kershaw's and that you really need to go get yourself a ZT knife. And I go, hey, guess what, buddy? The same company makes both. Not to say they're on the same, quality level by any means, but it's just funny that some people don't know that, who argue the fact that Kershaw's suck and that ZTs are the best in the world. But anyway, I find that funny. I have a strange sense of humor. So there is a lanyard hole on this, but I don't use it. I just don't find it's necessary. It's a smaller knife, but it definitely gives me enough grip. I have no problem with it. Ergos are pretty good on this. Pretty basic design, but I like knives with big finger choils, okay? At least for that index finger. I really like it. It's the booger finger or the trigger finger, depending on what you're doing. Yeah, it's comfortable. I like it. And of course the flipper acts as a guard, like most flipper knives. All right, flip it out, and all of a sudden you also have a nice guard that protects you from riding forward and cutting yourself. There's not a whole lot I can say bad about this knife. It is, it's a cheaper knife. It's a Walmart special, which is pretty cool because it's available at most Walmarts, which are pretty much everywhere. So if you happen to be perusing the outdoor section, the hunting stuff and sports section, and you look in that knife case, if there's anything you're going to pick in that knife case to buy, this would probably be your best bet, honestly. Some of the buck knives are okay, and some of the other Kershaws are okay. The blackouts, they're not bad. But this is definitely probably the best value knife in that case, if your Walmart happens to carry it. Besides the CRKT 16 variants, they're also worth the money. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, I'm not bringing anything new to the table on this one. It's been shown countless times, but because of that one very persistent viewer, I decided to, throw him a bone here and review the Kershaw Skyline. It's a pretty cool knife. So if you ever happen to see it and you never have it before, it's worth checking out. So that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.